I like the smell of death on my blade. The stench of rotting flesh makes me tickle in my veins. All right, so hopefully that'll make sense a little bit more as the video goes on. But today we are going to be taking an MDv +1, and I am going to update my suggested way to wrap the blade. I have designed this blade so that it is just skeletonized, and you can customize this with tape. I want to discuss why I chose to do that and the pros and cons of the new wrapping system that I am suggesting now. For those of you that don't have an MDv +1, you will gain a little bit of mindset based off of why I chose this feature and why I had to go away from the traditional handles that you see on most personal protection blades. So let's get into this video now. Hi guys, so when you purchase an MDv +1 from Scallywag Tactical, the MDv Fixed Blade itself will come just like this. It is nothing but the metal. It is bare bones, and for many of you that like a minimalist design, this is going to fit your needs perfectly. Now the question has usually comes up, why did I choose a bare bones, just metal type blade like this, and then offer tape to customize it? Well, the reason for this is because I run a lot of military classes, and in those classes, sometimes dead animals are voluntarily given to those classes, and I provide some sort of meat cutting demonstration. And when I do those meat cutting demonstrations, even though it is one of the best ways to psychologically condition people to see what type of damage is done, as well as the dangers of a knife, as well as the potential uses of a blade, the blood and guts and sweat and all this other stuff, dirt, gets all over your blades. And before I created the fixed blade, I used blades like this. In fact, this blade here is one that I have run multiple courses with, and it is a Kershaw Emerson. It is an excellent blade for its purpose. I've also used these out the front Benchmade knives here, as well as all of these Scallywag Tactical type folders. These are excellent blades, and they are good for these demonstrations. The problem is that when you do a demo like that, the blood and the guts and all this, it gets into all of the crevices. And when you try to clean it, even though you do the best you can and you take it apart to clean, inevitably there's going to be some sort of gunk that's still stuck in there because of all of the hair and the guts and the skin and what have you. And I've just found that unless you buy one of those industrial gun cleaners that just vibrates, that are probably thousands upon thousands of dollars, you don't have the ability to clean that blade after that event. Now, how does that apply to personal protection as a blade that you are carrying every day? It doesn't, mainly because when you use it once, law enforcement is going to take the blade from you, so you really don't have to worry about that. If you ever get it back, you will probably have to think about the cleaning. But when I was running all of these classes, I found that these things started to stink. In fact, this one actually smells a little bit, just because I've run it through so many courses. Whenever you have a blade like this, so this is an old Surefire fixed blade. It has a very porous G10 handle, and like if I were to place water in my hand and drive it on top, you would see that it just soaks directly in. And so in this scenario, you wouldn't even be able to clean that. It would just be a part of the blade. Now, some of you may enjoy that, and you may have this weird thought process, and you pretty much are like this. I like the smell of death on my blade. The stench of rotting flesh makes me tickle in my veins. But for the rest of us that are not weird and shit, we don't like to have that stench on our blade. So the whole purpose behind this was if I were to wrap it, and this is how I wrap it now, and blood and guts and all this other stuff was on this, I could cut off the tape and then strip it all the way back to bare bones, and I could clean it. And when I cleaned it, because there's no place for that the blood to kind of like settle, the hair, the flesh, all that type of stuff, it would be able to clean it, and then it would just be like brand new, and then I could wrap it again. And so that's the purpose of the skeletonized fixed blade for the MDv plus one. For those of you that have used your blades for maybe hunting purposes or have gone to classes where you use the recently deceased dead animals to cut them open, have you run into the problem of what I just described? Hey guys, I just wanted to drop a quick announcement. I'm going to be at Blade Show 2026 in Atlanta. So if you are going to be in the area, make sure that you stop by the Scallywag table or the Tour Knives table. I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Would love to see you, and I will personally answer any of the murdery questions that you have. And so hope to see you guys there. All right, so as the last part of this video, I'm going to take this trainer and actually wrap it so that you can see how I do this. But this part is just going to be dedicated to the new suggested option. And so what I did was I took the knife and I just created with black tape just one layer that goes all the way around. Now the reason for this is you will find that the MDv has a little bit of a shine to it. So if I have this in my hand and I'm trying to hide it with the sheath on, just like this, what happens is if there's any type of shine, I didn't like the fact that it might catch someone's eye. And I found that when I wrapped it like this and I held it in my hand, it dulled out the blade itself, and in turn it just makes it a little bit easier, especially when there's limited light, for somebody to see exactly what is in my hand if I'm carrying it and I'm talking to them in that fashion. And so the first suggestion is for you to take black tape and wrap it all the way around. Then the next suggestion that I have is that you take the center here and you create a notch that allows you to grab and use as a pivot point. This is placed right about, so if I were to take my two fingers and wrap it here, you'll notice it's right on the outside of my middle finger. Basically, if I were to take my hand and wrap it all the way in, it is actually on that middle finger here. And what that does is it allows me to grip pretty hard with my thumb and first finger, so any slashes allow for the blade to rock back and forth, and this helps with all of your snap cuts. When it is in a reverse grip, what happens is the two fingers, your ring finger and your pinky, lock directly in, so it's right underneath, and it secures your hand right where you would need it so that you can drive this down and still have some sort of grip and pressure with your middle finger as that drives directly in. It just really helps with the various different grips that I have. So if I shrink my hand directly back here, I can press on those on the raised tape here, and it allows me to drive forward if I want to do a punch dagger type grip, if I want to pull directly out. One of those, you'll find that the ability for you to move the blade around is just a little bit more natural than when I had two different versions of it. Once again, all of these different things are for your personal preference. So I'm sure some of you have come up with different ways to carry it, and I would love to hear about that in the comments. But as of right now, this is how I carry my personal blade. I have a single layer that is black, and then in the very center of it, a little bit closer to the blade itself, I have just one raised area of the tape. All right guys, so we're taking this trainer and I'm going to show you how to wrap all the way through. So I start at the very base of this, closer to the knife, or the cutting edge of the blade itself. And all I'm doing is I am just wrapping it here. And what I do with this is I just go up, I would say about 40% of that. And then from there, I just secure it. So it looks like that. From here, I take a small piece of tape. These are hard to just rip with your hands. And I place it right on the very top, so right at that motion there. And I wrap it underneath. So it looks like this, right? And then I just take that and I press this all down. If you do this right, what happens is you don't have to worry so much when you're wrapping it around to get all of the angles. So when I take this now and I start to wrap around, it just provides a complete pull on everything. So everything is just there, so you don't see any more of that blue. All right, so you're just going to wrap this all the way around like this. It's going to go. Just be careful not to place too much tape in any one area, or else it bulks up, unless that's what you like. And once it gets to this point here where the black tape is wrapped all the way around, I just continue this down just like that. And what you find is now we have taken away all of that blue area. And for you that are, for those of you that are doing it on your actual cutting blade, what happens is there's not going to be any more shiny black. It is now dulled out. What this does is it does create a little bit more grip on this. Depending on the type of tape you use, there might be a little stickiness to it, which some of you may like. This particular tape that I have, at least this roll itself, is very, very, well, it's just not sticky. Now, the next part is going to be figuring out where I want to place that large knot. And what I do with that is I just take my two fingers, wrap it just like that, and I find it's here, right? So once it's wrapped around, I just want it to be here, and I want to make sure that my pinky and my ring finger, when it wraps around, is going to be underneath that knot. Once that happens, you're just going to wrap this a bunch of times on one line until it is raised up basically as high as you want that notch to be. And depending on your preferences, it will be different. Let's say that's where I want it. From there, I just start to X my wrap. So it goes here and down, around. I rotate it down, and I just make sure that X crosses in both directions. Once I feel like I have hit that well enough, I go high, about 2 wraps. Then I cross it back down, and I wrap the lower end for 2 wraps. And then I X a couple more times, and then I close it off. And from there, you will have that same notch. When you grab it with your fingers here, it will give you good grip. It'll allow you to pull that directly out. Once again, clamping with your thumb and your first finger will be good for your snapping cuts. And then when you have it in your reverse grip with the sheath on, you can talk to someone, it'll hide in your hand, and the subtle flashing of the what would be metal is not going to be as noticeable because of this wrap. And so, like I said before, I have gone from the 2 notches to this. This is how I've been carrying it for the last 2 years, and I have found that this is a really good way of doing so. And so tell me what you think, and let me know if you've come up with a better version, because I do like experimenting with the various ways that you guys have come up with carrying this blade. I appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.